What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Iron Fist Season 1, Episode 6, Immortal Emerges from Cave. So, this one definitely is a lot more action-based, a little bit less of the story, a lot more just, Danny fighting. So, I did get a little bit more of what I wanted, and on top of that, the fight scenes were a bit better in this one. The big difference, unfortunately, is it's still not really gripping me. It's still not the Daredevil fights, and I'm just like, oh, that's really, really good. Or even the Luke Cage fights. There weren't really incredible fights, but just the brute force of it was like, oh, that's awesome. So, take the good with the bad, but there are definitely a lot of jump cuts in this for sure. And I know a lot of people have complained about the Marvel fight scenes. Movies have a lot of jump cuts in it, where it's like, in normal time, back in other fight scenes, it used to be just like, you have a shot and you just boom, 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 hitting, and now it's like, just to do 3 hits, it takes like 3 jump cuts. So you like jump, cut, hit, jump, cut, hit, jump, cut, hit again. They're kind of doing the same thing here, so it's definitely a lot different than, like you look at Daredevil and there are a couple scenes that are all done in one take. It's just like, wow, that's incredible. These are not the same at all. So a little bit of a problem I have with that, but I think as it goes along, hopefully I'll get used to it. It's not terrible. It's not like the fight scenes are the worst I've ever seen. I've definitely seen a lot worse in some other shows, but it isn't the same thing that I come to expect from these Marvel Netflix shows. As far as the story goes, it's kind of getting a bit interesting now because we are getting into what this season is about. The Hand is in. Here's Madame Gal. She's testing Danny. He has to go through this trial to get this girl back for the guy who was making the drugs. And so we have that going on. On top of that, we have the guy who was making the drugs has to be taken to the hospital because he's nearly dead. And then the Hand steal him back. I think it was the Hand. It was never really confirmed if that was them or not. But they steal him back, so I don't know what that means because Danny in the end got his daughter. So it's like, well, they got the daughter back, but now he's captured again. So what does this mean? And then on top of that, we're definitely getting some more interesting story with Ward that I did not think we were going to get, because after he had his little moment in the last episode where he decides to take the drugs and just completely phases out, we have, Joy obviously is upset and concerned for him at the same time, and so she's talking to him and he just tosses all of his drugs away. He's like, I'm good. I just had to take some painkillers. Just went a little bit overboard, but I promise I'm good. But then he goes with Danny on his little journey to try to get Sabine back, and they end up in the warehouse where the truck that Danny punched the back out of is. And Madame Gal left him a little present, inviting him to the challenge by putting the guy's head that she killed on a spike. And so Ward sees that, kind of flips out, and then I think he's kind of going through withdrawals as well. So I think this is something to do with the drugs that he took in the last one, because they said something about how these drugs are a bit more powerful. So I'm wondering if maybe these withdrawals, even though it's only been like a day, the reason he's having such strong withdrawals is because that's what this heroin that they have out there does to them. It makes it to where they need it the very next day. They need to go get more. And so it's like increasing the amount of drugs they have to get to satisfy the withdrawals that they're going through. So he's having that going on while they're in this meeting trying to figure out how to do damage control with this whole situation involving the radiation coming off the chemical plant. That isn't as interesting, but we do see that this guy is apparently saying, look, Danny coming back to the company is actually a great thing because it makes people think you care a bit more. But it sounds like they are still trying to not have to pay a bunch of money for this, but still show it in the light that no, we do care about the people, and Danny's going to be the face of that. So, but ultimately, the most interesting thing in this episode is, of course, the challenges and what's going on with Danny, because we see in this one for the first time this season that he's actually talking with one of the monks. I don't know if they exist for real or if this is just some sort of illusion that he's like popping up in his mind. I'm thinking though that this is a real thing. Like they actually are there for him. You know, like whether it's in his mind or whether it's some sort of dimensional thing where only he can see them. But he's seeing this monk and is talking to him, and the monk is just giving him words of strength and courage to help him get past all these fights. But we get to the last one, and Madame Gao comes out with the girl and is about to cut her throat if Danny kills the guy that he was sent to fight. And the guy, the monk that's been talking to him, says, "Kill him. You know, that's your job. You kill him." And Danny, being the caring person that he is, of course, doesn't want the girl to die. So he says no, doesn't kill the guy, withdraws from the fight. So Madame Gao gives him the girl, but she also leaves us with a bit of interesting information that apparently she knew Danny's father, and something along the lines of she's met several other Iron Fists in the past, and there's something different about this one. I'm guessing because he decided not to just straight up kill the Iron Fist or the hand guy. It was more he's more concerned about other things than he is about killing the hand. And so she knocks him on his butt and then walks away. So as he's walking out of this place with the girl, he's talking, and he's talking to the monk. And so he turns around to look, and there he is. He says, "What was I supposed to do, let her die?" And then he turns his back on him. Now, I don't know if this means that he no longer has the power of the Iron Fist, or if this, because we've seen, or at least I've seen this type of thing before, ironically enough, in a kids show. It was probably one of the best kids shows out there, Avatar: The Last Airbender. There is an episode where he's having to go through these trials, this journey, to kind of unlock the ability to control this ultra-powerful avatar state. But in the end, he hears that his friends are in trouble, and this is kind of like, Luke Skywalker and, what was the fifth? Empire Strikes Back. At the end of it, same thing, going through training to become this ultra-powerful Jedi. Well, he hears people in trouble, same with Aang in The Last Airbender. They hear that somebody's in trouble, and so they think, okay, well, I need to go help them, even though it's going to affect their training. It's going to keep them from sort of unlocking the power that they could possibly have even more. This kind of feels like the same thing. Like he has the ability, all he has to do is just strike this guy down, and then that's it. Like he's proven he's the Iron Fist. He is the unbeatable warrior from Kunlun that's going to destroy the hand. But the fact that this girl's life is in danger convinces him to stop, convinces him to say, no, I can't let her die for my sake, for me to become this warrior. And I wonder if that's going to sort of halt his ability, or if he could become even more powerful, but now he actually is going to start getting beaten, because that's one of the things that he says, is that he can't be beaten. As the Iron Fist, he cannot be beaten. It's impossible. And so I'm wondering if now there's going to be a fight where he actually loses or something, and it's going to be like, wait, what? How was I able to be beaten? And so he starts to realize that now he doesn't have the abilities of the Iron Fist anymore. I'm wondering if his fist will even be the Iron Fist anymore, or if it's just going to go away. But it does raise a very interesting question about what's going to happen next. Where's this going? And I like it whenever a show can do that. I like it whenever a show can say, hey, let's take this in an interesting direction that you're not really sure where it's going to go next and what's going to happen. So anytime a show can do that, I always like it. And I did have some problems in the past couple episodes, but honestly, with this one, aside from the junk cutting fights, it was all really good. It was enjoyable. We get to see more of Claire and Colleen working together. Colleen had a nice little, a very short fight, but I'm glad it was a short fight because she's just so, she's gotten so much more powerful with all this training, with all these cage fights she's going into. So she just walks up to the guy, breaks his hand, kicks his face, and that's it. That's all it takes. And I like that. I like whenever a character can do that very easily and not turn it into this is some random henchman, let me fight him for 10 minutes. No. She's just whatever, random henchman, bam. So that was fun, but watching them just work together a little bit, seeing Claire have to go back to the hospital, I like seeing them work together. It's kind of an interesting little, sidekick tag team that's going on. But all in all, it's still pretty interesting to see where it's going to go next, and I hope they continue to take it into interesting places. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know, we can talk about and discuss all the good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Iron Fist reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.